All right. Welcome to the Shock Drop Podcast, the epicenter of the sneaker universe. I'm Chris, your host, alongside my fellow sneaker aficionados and co hosts, Kyle and Azeem. In this week's episode, we've got a lot of controversies going around in the sneaker community. We'll be discussing Tom Sachs' recent accusations and his responses to them that were leveled against him, as well as diving into the recent buzz around Adidas actually coming back and deciding to sell Yeezys again. Not something we ever really thought would come around, and something that wasn't too surprising. Ja Morant back in the news for sabotaging the NBA career that he has earned. Don't miss a beat in the sneaker world, and make sure to subscribe on the YouTube channel if you're watching on there, and make sure to give a like on the video. If you're watching on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, be sure to follow and rate the video at the end. So let's go ahead and dive in. And before we get into all the controversy, Azeem, you were talking about something else that also came up with JD trying to buy Courier. What are they trying to do with that?
I guess they're just trying to expand their business, and I think most of us in the US aren't like as familiar with JD. We know like they have a few stores, but like they're about the same size like globally as Foot Locker as a company. So as much as like I want to see like a business expanding like capitalism and all that, I think I'm kind of wanting to support smaller shops just because I think we've seen so many great collabs come from them, such as like Union and Ama Manier.
Yeah, for sure. Kyle, you got any thoughts on this?
I think it's just gonna end up becoming like one big parent company that just kind of owns most of the shops at this point. Like it's gonna be like a handful of like giants, and then barely any small shops like Union or like Azim was talking about.
Yeah, and you
Yeah,
kind of lose those community collabs then, right?
Yeah, because it's just end up going to be like the big parent collab.
yeah, we've seen a lot of stores like either get bought out or like shut down in the last like few years. So it's kind of like sad to see another like one company just get put in.
Into the
Yeah.
conglomerate.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
And
The
I used to have
retail-
I think I used to have some finish lines and stuff around me, and I think some of them have all kind of converted to JDs now.
Yeah.
Um, and they have a little bit more of a selection, which is kind of nice.
Mhm.
But it definitely, I mean, you lose out on all the, I guess, community aspect of it. It just seems like a chain store, just like the Foot Locker,
Yeah.
right? Like there's nothing like a special event or anything like they're gonna do. And the only real one that I have near me is corporate, so like they're the only ones that still do that. And they're a tier zero. I don't know if they're owned by anybody else like that, but that's the closest I got. I don't really have anything else. I think in the state.
I will say like I feel I can actually hit like finish line exclusive access versus like a Foot Locker raffle, like a reservation in the app. So that's a
The
little bit
the,
nicer.
the status.
Yeah, exactly. Because like after you spend a certain amount of money, like it's not as bad.
Yeah.
And Adidas kind of does that where if you're like their top level, you also get like exclusive access for stuff. Do you think that's the way that every app should be, even Nike going forward? Their exclusive access should just be like a points redeem, where if you've got, points earned on your account, that's how you redeem it.
Kind of. I like how like finish line is where like okay, you don't have to spend like a crazy amount of money. I want to say like $100 or $200, which is like one or two pairs of shoes. So it's like you can buy your Air Forces there and like then get the access.
Mm.
Versus like all you have to be the top spender, like in the top percentage of accounts.
Yeah, that would definitely make it a little bit more, I think, attainable. EA right now just feels like a myth, right? It's just like the
Yeah,
impossible
exactly.
raffle.
What's
Um,
EA?
yeah, I did like that Adidas started doing like, oh, you could just redeem a full shoe, right? Like if you've got enough points or something like
Mhm.
that. I thought that was kind of cool. So maybe they'll start doing that for the Yeezys or something. That we'll get into here in a little bit. But that there's a lot of cool ways I think those brands can kind of interact with customers that way.
Yeah.
And speaking of interacting with customers, for the last couple of weeks, I think we've been talking about Tom Sachs and all of the crazy allegations that came out. And, again, to reiterate, they are still all allegations. I don't think anything was actually proven or anything was, in terms of charges or anything, nothing was brought to light. It was just an internal investigation. I think Soul Retriever had posted that Tom Sachs had the Mars Yard 3.0 in the pipeline. And then I think within like 12 hours, Nike came out and said, yeah, we actually don't have any plans to work with Tom anymore.
Yep.
And Tom ended up posting on Instagram like a handwritten, it looks like, message to say basically that he deeply regrets if he, made anything feel unsafe. He said the business grew at a rapid pace and cultural norms progressed, and they basically progressed faster than they could adapt. That's an interesting way to say that.
Yep.
And then he also said something about the rape room in, I think, the Medium that he posted. And in the Medium, he basically just kind of said that, it was like a dirty joke of The Office. And it wasn't really meant for anybody outside the office to hear and be taken seriously. He did not say anything about the swastika. He didn't say anything about like the allegations of like kind of getting really angry and yelling at people. I think Stillman was one that said there was also something about him throwing sheet metal at somebody.
Yeah.
He didn't say anything about any of those. What do you guys think about the apology?
I mean, I think we were talking about it, like how it's it's handwritten, but nobody knows if it's actually one that he actually wrote, or it could be like someone like his PR team doing it for him. But yeah, it was just like a lot of PR-y verbiage. Nothing really saying that like, oh,
Yeah.
I messed up, like I'm sorry, whatever. It was just like things happened,
Yeah.
business blew up, we didn't prioritize things well enough. Which I will say, like, okay, yeah, you definitely didn't prioritize stuff in your studio in the sense of making things very safe or somewhere fun to work, I guess.
Yeah. It feels like saving face without trying to like admit like, oh, I actually did something like bad.
Mm-hmm.
I think that his Medium article, I don't think he ever says like I'm sorry in any way.
Probably not. Sounds very PR-y.
A lot of this, I feel like artists kind of say like it's a part of their creative process or something.
Yeah.
Which it could be, but then you need to learn to work on your own or something. Because you can't just be harassing people if they're, especially if they're working with you on the team like that. Yeah,
Like,
I'm. Oh, go ahead.
not to defend Tom, but like, do you think it relates to the Kanye lyric? Like, name one genius that ain't crazy.
Oh no, 100%. It definitely is. Like I think in the Steve Jobs movie, I think that was exaggerated, right? But they portrayed him as like a very angry person, I think. And he was known to have some outbursts, but I don't think it was necessarily as bad as they made it look.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a common character trait for people that are higher up like that.
Elon being another one of those.
Right. Yeah, and Elon's just getting in trouble right now with the whole censoring for bowing down to a whole nother country kind of thing.
Yep.
So I mean, and he's having a temper tantrum about it on Twitter when he gets told. So I think it's pretty common like that. And Kanye too, right? Kanye got told like no, and this was the same deal and stuff that is ended up coming up here in like 2 minutes, right? This was stuff that was talked to him beforehand, and then he's basically said no and got a temper tantrum, did all this stuff, and then now is taking the same deal again. But yeah, for Tom, I guess he still has shoes that were out there. We still had, I think there was like a green orange, or sorry, a green hemp colored Tom Sachs colorway. I think there was like another brown orange colorway, maybe a gray one. There's at least 3 or 4 of them. What do you guys think? Do you think the old colorways are going to go up, or do you think they're done? They're going down.
I don't know. I mean, they've been going down because those colors that have released outside of the original one aren't that great.
Yes, that is true. The yellow one was okay. The brown one for sure.
But I feel like the other ones that were slated to be released this year were much better than the yellow and brown pair.
Yeah, that's agreed.
Yeah, I think like the yellow pair aside, but like the brown pair wasn't that like memorable. So it was like people don't care that much.
The poopy brown pair.
Yeah. I mean, I think like the only thing it would be like, oh, if they released a 3.0, those would still sell out.
Oh yeah, 100%. Those 3.0s would do well.
What would you cop?
Yeah, I mean, the 3.0s.
Yeah.
The toe, no.
I would. They look comfy.
Chris, what if they restock Mars Yard 1.0s? Would you cop that for the toe?
The 1.0s, yes, maybe. The 1.0s were pretty nice looking, so I will admit those were pretty good. But no, I don't think I would get me the new ones or anything like that. I kind of like. I mean, I like that original colorway of like the boring shoe. But it's kind of like a okay shoe, right? Like I have other shoes that I could use for the same purpose. But it's in the collection now. We'll just see how much use it gets.
Yeah. Just beat it to the ground.
Yeah. I'll take it and like just sit on the back of a car and put my feet on the ground. Test them out.
Yep. Might as well.
I mean, it also comes to the question like, what do we do with these canceled shoes?
Right.
Yeah, and that's just a few of them stacking up. And here's the next one is Ja Morant now waving a gun again on Instagram.
Yeah, speed running. He's speed running his contracts.
And I don't know if they didn't have it in here, but I think he was like somebody was saying he was playing like NBA YoungBoy and like he was like dancing on a car or something, and then he was in the car and pulled out the gun when it was on camera. And yeah, I really don't know what he's doing with this. I mean, we saw everything that happened. He said he was sorry, right? That's a PR thing. And then yeah, I don't really know. And Nike's still rolling out shoes for him and stuff. They haven't said a word or anything like it other than I think the original statement, which was he's gonna seek help and get the help that he needs. But what do you guys think? Do you think he's gonna fix himself or he's just on his way out?
I mean, he keeps saying that, but like I don't see any action on his part, He's still doing the same old.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Some people are saying like he needs to get out of the environment he's in, like get a different group of friends because they're obviously like not good influences with them.
Yeah. I mean, I guess also like we've seen what for like at least like what Kyrie and who's the other one that got dropped by Nike? That's not Tom. Was there someone? Right? Kyrie was the other one, right? Was there someone
Kyrie
else?
was the one that tweeted.
Yeah. Was there someone else?
I mean,
I think that was
does Jerry count? He didn't do anything bad.
Yeah.
No, they just didn't like him.
Okay. Not the same thing, but
Adidas actually also told him the same thing, so it's not looking so good for him.
Oh, rip. But yeah, like, well, we've seen that like Nike's willing to drop based on like what people say, but it's like Ja hasn't said anything. He's just done some stupid stuff. So I'm curious to see what Nike's threshold of, I guess, stupidity.
Yeah.
Is
how long will they stand with him?
Yeah, I guess the same thing with the NBA because I've seen people tweeting that like, they've been parading Ja as like the the up and coming face of the NBA, right?
Oh, dang.
I don't follow it,
Yeah.
the NBA, but that's what I've been seeing. So it's like, okay, when will what's the straw that's going to break the camel's back for, the NBA's like uh new young face and like Nike's new young face, right?
And when
So
you think about the other ones, like Luca was probably the most recent one before Ja. I think that had a shoe deal and was pretty new. Maybe him
Mhm.
and Zion.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
but neither of them have had any controversies to my
Right.
knowledge.
Right.
Right? Nothing,
And
nothing like this.
no.
Right? Um, and like, yeah, I think that's a very interesting concept of, like Nike has lots of other athletes now, but they're all very. I don't want to say Luca and them are mid, but nobody's like to that popularity of a LeBron,
Mhm.
kind of level, right? They're all still in the very low level, but they all still get their own shoe deals.
Right.
Is
Yeah, they
Nike
still
really,
have a cleaner like
a cleaner rep and
social.
stuff?
Yeah, cleaner rep. Sorry, yeah, that's
Yeah.
a better word for it.
Is Nike willing to just dump off one guy? They've got extras, right?
Right.
Um,
Well, I mean, you could also say it's because like they need some people to just keep Nike basketball keep going around, but like their biggest shoes now aren't like basketball shoes. They're collabs with stores like Union, Alma Money, stuff like that. So
True.
maybe they don't care that much about it.
But is Ja's shoe really keeping them in the game in terms of Nike basketball?
well, they
Since
are
it's
kind
so
of
since
releasing a
they're
lot of them. Maybe they're just trying to
yeah.
get rid of
Yeah,
what they have.
yeah. Maybe they're
Okay.
just trying to get rid of the inventory,
Yeah, because
moving up releases.
I was gonna say there's one this week.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
Spider-Man one.
The hunger.
it's kind of surprising because there was one like a week or two ago too. Yeah,
Yep.
so it kind of
Because
seems like they're speedrunning it.
That
I
was
have
the
four
GS
pairs of
one, right?
those. No,
Yeah,
they had men's too.
Oh, okay. Oh, the trivia.
The trivia. Because I have
Yes.
four pairs of those right now. So I'm curious like how this will all play out. Like will because we're like just what we were talking about with the Tom Sachs GPS, like would they go up? Would they go down based on, um I guess the cancellation of contracts or the ceasing of further development of the line, right?
A lot of it, I think, too, can go to how extreme the cancellation is. Like if you look at,
Right,
some of the old shoes, right? Freddy Krueger's and all those. Obviously, those are in way fewer numbers,
right.
right? But there's such a huge story with that, right? They had oil on them. They were
Hmm.
burned. Like you can't find pairs that don't have some kind of oil somewhere on it, right? That's how
Right.
you know you got a fake pair, basically.
Hmm.
And there's a couple samples and stuff that have come around now, but for the most part, right, that's a huge, huge story attached to it.
Yeah.
The Betsy Ross, the one that had like the wrong whatever flag on the back,
Hmm.
um, that one had a huge story. That one went up to like $2,000. I think it went up to 2.5K, and I think now they're down to like I think 1,000, maybe less. I
Wow.
mean, they just nobody cares,
Yeah.
right? Like the story was hot, but then like once that was off the news, like nobody really cared.
Right.
And I think part of it became political too. So like that's where the news really kicked it off. But a lot of these cancel ones, like if they don't, I don't really think we've had any Ja Morant colorways besides that original. Was this the Swarovski,
Yeah,
the
that's
black one?
the one that they did for All-Star weekend.
But
Oh,
maybe
and the
that one and the
scratch.
scratch. Yeah, I
Yeah.
like the scratch one, but I don't think a lot of people did. So maybe just that black one. I think that's probably the only good colorway so far. Right, the rest have been all kind of like
Uh,
okay.
I mean, the scratch one is like doing very well in terms of
Is
resale
it?
because those were the two that were
Oh,
All-Star
exclusive,
game.
right?
Hmm.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I like the scratch one because of it looks like the Travis Scotts, the fours.
The forest, the
But
color.
yeah, the Oilers. But
Mhm.
it's not a. I mean, it wasn't really like a real release, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, those were. I mean, I think the only ones that might go up. Azeem, are there any of the Ja Morant colorways that you actually like?
no, I mean like I haven't followed them that much, and also I think it's like Ja hasn't gone to that All Star level of like Kobe and LeBron, where he's won multiple championships. So I think like if he gets suspended, like people will forget about him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's still like what? He's like, how many years has he been in the NBA? Like, not more than
Since
5, right?
2019.
Oh, okay. So
So, like,
yeah, so
3?
less than 5.
3, 4. Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, so he's still early enough
He's
that
only-
I guess he can fade into oblivion if he just completely gets scrapped
He
by the
joined in
NBA.
2019, but I don't think he's actually been like shoe-wise anything since at least 2020 or after.
Yeah, probably.
When was he signed? I was going to say I haven't heard of 2019. I don't think anything around it was in there for that. Oh wow, he did sign it in 2019.
Oh, really? When he
Yeah.
came in? Wow.
Wow, when did the first shoe drop?
This year.
Wow, really?
Or this past year, yeah.
Dang, okay. Wow, he's really been in the league for that long. I'm surprised that he got it that early, and then this is like the first thing. Did he? I don't know if he had any other collabs or anything like that.
Probably
Maybe it
because
took that long to design it.
I mean,
You
yeah,
take like
probably
a 2-year lead time just to like the
get
design and everything.
Yeah.
I was also gonna say that's also like when Zion also was a bigger name, right?
Oh, yeah. So
Yeah.
maybe he got sidelined.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But now
And
I
then
think Zion's not doing well, or he sucks now. I don't know.
what is when did Lucas get signed? Do you know? Or when did his shoe come out?
His most recent one or his first one?
His first one.
September 2022.
Oh, okay. So that was also like right after Zion. So yeah, so he's probably been sidelined until after those two got done.
Yeah.
Because now Zion's had a couple releases. Luca's had a couple colorways. He just had a dog colorway come out. Very cute.
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting.
That's what I'm saying. It's just like, why not? I mean, yeah, why not use all your other athletes instead of just, funneling all into one who
Maybe
seems to
they
have a questionable reputation at this point?
maybe they want the controversy.
Oh, that's true. What's that? What's that saying? Even bad publicity is good publicity.
There's
Yeah,
no such thing as bad publicity. There's
yeah.
also
Bad publicity is good publicity. Yeah,
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah.
Because I mean, look, everyone's talking about it, and everyone's talking about it, looking it up, but then they're also seeing the shoe when they search it up, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And then going on from Ja, the last one that's an even bigger contender for self-destructor of the year. Somehow
Of the decade, maybe?
Adidas is
Of the decade, maybe?
of the decade. Yeah, it could be. No, I don't know. Elon, I think, is in competition, but
Oh,
yeah, Kanye. After losing $1 billion and going his own way, Adidas has decided to forego any kind of environmental destruction of the shoes, and has decided they will sell the shoes like the Yeezys that they've got in stock again. I think the other plan was to burn them, which obviously, being the parlay and the recycled and all the other stuff that they do, they can't do that. And then as well as they don't want to just sell it to like or donate them to some other country because they're more worried that it'll get intercepted and somebody else will pick them up, which is very, very likely that could happen. So they decided that they'll go back to the original deal. That's what I was talking about a little bit earlier. But Kanye was approached with this, and I believe that he called the CEO a racist and told him to kick rocks. And yeah, now here we are a couple months later, back again, the same deal, and he accepted because probably nobody will work with him, and he's got not much money outside of like a couple things that are going. He's trying to buy the store. You definitely need money to do that. His house is rotting in Miami. I don't know what he's doing with that stuff. But yeah, so whatever Adidas sells, they have to give Kanye 15%. So, if we do some math on that, if my phone opens, yeah. I think Adidas has 500 million something in inventory, but that's about 1.2 billion
Mhm.
in possible revenue. So if we take that and do Kanye's little 15%, Kanye is about to make $180 million from this deal.
Which is very little when
From doing nothing.
Well, I mean, also, but like I'm saying, from his
Yeah.
heyday, right?
Yeah, I mean, 180 million. I mean, that's like, if you think about it, he's got to fund his house or sell it, one of the two. His new store that he's going to do. Fashion is expensive, right? I mean, his
Oh
first
yeah.
couple shows took him down like $16 million.
Also getting samples done.
Yeah, and especially with tooling and stuff like that. Yeah,
Mhm.
180 million can go very fast for somebody like him.
Oh, also, was it his custody with Kim?
Does he have to pay
Yeah,
child support?
I
Yeah,
think he does have to pay child support.
oof, yeah, that 180 is going to be gone real
I'm not sure
pretty
if that's
quick.
accurate, but yeah, if he does, yeah, he's definitely losing some money on that. I'm not even sure how that is. Kim makes more than him.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he did just trademark a new shoe as well. He trademarked a sock shoe
The
that he was
sock
wearing.
shoe.
Yeah, the
Mhm.
one that he was wearing at the
Fear of God.
auditions.
Oh.
Yeah.
No, yeah. Oh, maybe he was wearing it at Fear of God, but he wore him at the audition thing where he was wearing that dog T-shirt.
Right.
So yeah, so he had that on, and now he's patented that. So now he is going and getting his own designs. And the rumor is that he's opening a shop on Melrose, I believe, like right next to the Adidas store. So we'll see if he does that.
That's a bold move right there.
Yeah, and Kanye could definitely do that. And I mean, anything that he puts up, I think he could sell out.
Right.
But he'd have to keep up the inventory, which he notably said himself in the song Heat, right? When he's like jumping over the jump man and stuff, he said he needs the infrastructure so he could give Yeezys out to more people. And he was always mad because Nike would never give him, more allocation, or they wouldn't let him do a lot. And Adidas let him, slowly ramp it up and keep putting out more and more.
Right.
Even shoes that weren't necessarily selling super hot, I'm assuming. So
I mean,
it's interesting. Yeah, go ahead.
yeah. Now he's kind of realizing like, oh, maybe I'll just build the infrastructure myself. So do you think like we'll get these like cheaper Yeezys at mass production levels?
I don't know who's going to work with him is the problem. So Skechers turned him down. I think he's tried to talk to somebody in Saudi Arabia, and I think that was a possible investor. I had somebody that said like he was waiting on getting a meeting with them and doing some stuff, but I don't know if that actually went through. And maybe that's what he got the backing, and that's where he's setting up now in Melrose. But it hasn't been disclosed at least that he's got a partner or anything that he's working with.
Because he somehow has like someone to work with for like his clothing.
Yeah.
Because he's producing new stuff, so I'm sure he'll
I mean,
find someone for shoes.
yeah, I mean, I'm sure there are creatives and people all around LA that would still work with them in a heartbeat just because of what that could do for their career. Um, what was I gonna say? I know that all of like the dev team and stuff for like Easy Supply and all that got split up or let go. And I know that I can't remember his name, but the guy that was a Yeezy team designer and then left to go do Factory Lab, where they made those foam kind of slippers just recently.
Oh yeah,
Um,
yeah.
that is a Yeezy designer, and he left and he's doing his own thing now. And I don't know if he's working with Kanye. That would have been a cool thing to see if they would work together, but I don't know if he would want to work with Kanye
Hmm.
for understandable reasons. But going through, I posted a huge list in House of Cards and stuff about all the Yeezys and stuff that could possibly be coming out, and we've got some pictures up here in front of us. What are the ones that you guys are looking forward to the most?
Well, I was saying that like Pirate Blacks for me, just because I wasn't around for the Yeezy V ones. So I guess for me just to see what those were like, because I think the only one that's ever released since my time was Turtle Doves last year. But I mean, so it's kind of like just trying to see what it was like at the beginning. Obviously, hype is not as are hype still as high for those?
For the Pirate Blacks, yeah, I'm sure.
Okay.
There's a lot of people that even have fake pairs probably want to now try and get a real pair, and there's a lot of people with fake. I mean, there's so many fakes of the V1s that it's everywhere. So,
Yeah.
a lot of people now want to grab their chance of getting a real pair, and it's really the easiest chance you've got.
Right.
It's going to be now. Not to say that it will be easy. We saw how bad the Turtle Doves was.
Yeah.
But that is still your best chance.
Right. And then the other one I think I was interested in was the MX Cream slides, just because they reminded me of like a dreamsicle.
Because of the orange and stuff.
Yeah.
That's what you said.
Yep. Clearly I try to link shoes to food
Yeah.
for some weird reason. But yeah,
The street hawkers, they got you.
they got me. So, but yeah, I mean, not that I would want any of the two pairs I just mentioned. Just, I don't know, those are the ones that like actually stood out to me. The other ones just were kind of meh, or just too out there for me. The colors, at least.
Yeah. Z?
I mean, like Pirate Blacks would definitely be a fun drop. I kind of want a foam runner for the toe still, so I might cop that. Things like 500 utility black will just be like good drops to flip, because I think they'll like still have like some demand.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it'll be interesting to see what 350 V2 colorways come out, and see if those will actually like resell now. Because at the end, like 350s were not doing so hot, and see how resell, like how much demand they still have.
That last 350 that dropped right before the split ended up going up pretty high.
Which one was it? The Slate?
I think it was like the Slate or something, yeah.
Yeah. I remember no one cared about that shoe until after the split.
Yep.
No one knew it was going to be the last.
Yeah, that was really interesting.
The other one that I thought was interesting, I was like, the dark belugas. That felt so
yes.
out of nowhere, even though we just had like the reflective ones just come out like a year and a half ago, 2 years.
Yeah, not even that long ago.
Yeah. So it's like, I don't know, this is interesting. It's just like, why the dark beluga, right?
And this would make the fourth version of the beluga that we've got. So a lot.
I think it'd be interesting, but it also kind of looks like one of those April Fool colorways that Yeezy Mafia used to post.
Yeah. But I mean, a couple of people have already got these in hand, so I mean, they could be early reps, but these definitely had some possible designs out. It definitely kind of looks like the old Turtle Dove V2 design that never ended up making it.
Oh yeah.
Just obviously instead of orange, you had like black and more white instead of gray. That was an interesting one.
I think it's crazy, like how many like different colorways were in production. Like,
yeah, I mean they had a lot, and a lot of these black ones I think were all for Black Friday on last year, right? And then all of that got canceled because October 25th is when they canceled the partnership.
Yeah.
So they missed their two biggest months, which is November and December.
Yeah.
I was saying earlier, my best two would probably be the two that I think are most likely to not actually come out, which would be the 1050s, the V3s, the orange pair, or those Yeezy 500 high combat boots. I think those are pretty interesting. Any of the others, maybe a foam colorway if I really like one. This where is it here? Oh shoot, I passed it. Oh yeah, this one, this MX Azure foam runner, the black with like kind of some blue. I like that one. I do like the carbon. Yeah, the carbon one. I wish I kind of kept that one. The pink one,
the purple highlighter. Green.
Yeah, I thought that one was actually pretty cool. So maybe I'd keep this one because I didn't get that one.
Yeah.
Or I didn't keep that one in my size. I got it and I sold it. But no, I mean I've got like 4 foam runners and stuff. I don't really like the slides. So I think I'm good. I am. I do like those. What is it? The basketball shoes. I don't want to pay retail for them, so I'm hoping to find people that have pairs and want to like get rid of them, and I'll buy it for like $100 off somebody. But like they're actually pretty nice to play basketball in. So like I just want a couple other dark colorways that I can swap out. and not have to worry about. So like the Slate Onyx, I think is one that was slated. Maybe somebody will get it, lose some money, and I'll be able to scoop it up there on the low.
Do you think those knits will have any support for playing basketball, or will they
I
like
play
for your
basketball in
ankle?
them, bro.
Oh, okay.
It's pretty good. The only problem is, so like if if you're looking at this at home, if you look at the heel portion of where like the heel cap is, right here, like where this part kind of meets the knit, that feels very stiff on your ankle. So like if you like are up against it too much, it does kind of hurt.
Oof. Do you get
But
used
this
to
is
it?
yeah, for the most part. I mean, like when I'm playing, like I don't notice it. It's only when I stop and stand somewhere, like I'll start feeling it. But for the most part, like I usually wear foam runners there, swap into these, play, and then I swap back into foam runners, just so my feet can kind of expand and breathe a little bit.
Makes sense.
They're very snug, very snug. Especially having that high sock kind of thing, you really got to be able to fit your foot in there too.
I think another question about like all these colorways coming out is how are they going to release them? Are they just going to do confirmed app or like bring Yeezy supply back or give it to boutiques?
Yeah,
I think Yeezy Supply is dead, so I don't think that's coming back.
because that was from Kanye, right?
It was
Well,
Kanye, and then I think Adidas bought it, or Adidas took
Okay.
over, right?
Adidas took over it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
But
like
they shut it down, and now Confirmed app has been doing so good, right? At least for releases.
Well, I mean, that's what they moved all the really hyped pairs for Yeezy Day onto.
Confirmed app, yeah.
yeah.
So
I think it'll be interesting to see like maybe they just want Botters to like have all of them and give it to Yeezy supply again.
they could do that, but why bring back a splash page?
Yeah, that honestly, and then you destroy the website, and then you have all
Yeah.
these problems. I was saying, something earlier to somebody that I figured it would be the easiest would just do like a weekly, or like every, maybe every weekend you do like a certain easy drop, right? Like oh, you have. I just actually went on the Confirmed app and I just saw they have some other raffles, and you can use your points that you have to enter those. So they could do the same thing, like the status thing, where it's like okay, the Pyro Black is coming back, right? You can either put in 50 for like the base entry. You can put in 200, that gives you 5 entries. You can put in 1,000, right? That gives you 25. You could put in 10,000 or 5,000, right, and put in and get more. But it encourages you, like, oh, if you're spending money on your account in one account, then you'll get a lot more points and stuff like that.
I don't like this system though because it's like the FTX points, right?
I don't
Where
think
like
they expire though.
oh okay.
They
But the
used
only
to, or the level used to go down, but at least like
Mhm.
I kept all my points, and like I'm still a level 4.
Same.
Yeah, I think I'm a level 4. Maybe I'm a level 3.
You're on my level.
I think I'm a level 3 actually.
Oh,
I think I sank because I stopped buying anything on the app.
did you use the points?
I just used a little bit of them to just to get into those whatever giveaways that they've got. One is a tennis tournament. I think there's a bike race, the 510. And they'll like fly you out for the thing and everything. I mean, there's some cool like sweepstake things. However, I will say, I did read about somebody on Reddit who posted that they won a soccer.
Champions League.
oh
Yes,
yeah.
Tickets.
and
Yep.
he did not get them, and Adidas is trying to claim like he's not getting them.
Yeah.
So he's pretty pissed.
I would be too. That's a once in a
Yeah, that's a
lifetime
huge
almost
thing.
kind of thing.
Yeah, it's pretty sad. And these apps just say like, oh, we'll give you like a voucher. So we don't want your $50 voucher, bro.
Yeah.
Such like a
Especially-
slap in the face.
Yep. Especially because those tickets were like it could be thousands.
Yeah, really, it'd be crazy. Um, yeah, it's definitely a very interesting thing for them. I think that Adidas has probably learned the lesson though with Easy Supply, with how bad that was going for them. I don't imagine that they'd ever go back to it.
Yeah. Well, because the site itself is down. They took it down.
Yeah, I don't even know if the Adidas/Yeezy page is up.
Oh,
Let's see.
Adidas.com/Yeezy.
It is.
I think
No.
they should just bring Shopify Yeezy Supply back.
Oh, 'cause
Oh yeah.
they redirected it to
Yeah, to against
hate.
hate.
So
At
what?
Adidas against hate. At Adidas, we do not tolerate anti-Semitism, racism,
Oh
or other
wow.
forms of hate. Our company's
Good.
values are rooted in diversity and inclusion, mutual respect, and fairness.
Well, it's
Wow.
definitely not rooted in that, but yeah, it's
But
definitely rooted in what Kanye was talking about. Unfortunately.
yeah, but that's what the Adidas.com/Yeezy redirects to now.
Good. Okay. Well, at least they didn't just leave the page or like redirect to a dead
Oh,
link. That's something
right.
nice.
Yeah. So that's kind of
Um.
so that may point to more
Yeah.
confirmed raffles. But yeah, I am curious to see if any boutiques will be getting pairs or allocations of this.
And some of them, I'm very curious what they did with the pairs that they had because some of them were told if you have Yeezys, pull them. You're not
Mhm.
allowed to sell them.
Yeah.
I saw somebody else say this, but I saw. I think it was some Shopify store, and I don't know which model it was, but it was one of the utility blacks, the 500s or the 700s.
Mhm.
One of them dropped it early on accident.
I think it
Um,
was 500s.
was it the 500s? Yeah. So I
Think
mean, like some
so.
people, some people definitely still have pairs ready to go.
Yeah.
They just don't know what to do with them right now.
I wonder now because we've seen a lot of those like independent stores shut down because of the Yeezy contract. Look, because Yeezy like made up so much of their sales.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if let's say boutiques do get these Yeezy shipments to help Adidas get rid of the pairs. I wonder how we're gonna see sales spike again, and then if we'll see another wave of stores closing after this Yeezy stuff is all said and done.
I
Yeah,
mean,
and
I
go
think like
ahead.
stores will know not to depend on this income. They'll just take the
Yeah,
cash injection and like do whatever
yeah.
with the money.
Do you think they'll quick sell them, or do you think they'll be smarter this time and decide just to hold on to them, knowing that I mean, it's going to go up,
Yeah.
right? I mean, this is it. And by this
There's
is
no
it,
more.
just to clarify, these releases are still planned for the whole year. It's not like a one day easy day, right? We're probably going
Imagine,
to see all year releases.
imagine if it was a 1 day thing.
I thought they would have done that last year. Honestly,
Right.
that would have been the
Fire
easy
sale.
solution.
The
Yo,
Because
fire
hey,
sale for
like
you know
seeing
Halloween.
what?
how many colorways there are, like I don't
Yeah.
think they could have done it in one day.
Yeah,
It
that
could have
was
been like a
my
Yeezy
figures.
week.
Like, I mean, we've seen models we didn't even know existed. The 700 foams, nobody knew about.
Right.
Foam Runner V2, no one officially knew about.
Hmm.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you're right. There's so much that nobody probably knows about. I thought it'd be. I was thinking about this the other day. Like, oh, how could Adidas make confirmed apps so like, you could make it more fun and interactive than like a bottable first come first serve, and
Right.
not a dumb raffle where it's like you assume nobody wins. And I thought, oh, you could do something where it's like a Kahoot kind of thing, where it's like
Answer Kanye
you
trivia.
it would not Kanye trivia. It would be like, Jewish history or something, right? But it
Yeah.
would be like, you show up and it's like the first 1,000 people or the first 20,000 people, whatever, get to compete, right? And then it's going to ask a question of like, what was the first Adidas Yeezy that released? Oh, it was one of the 750s. Okay, you got it. Boom. Okay, you go to the next round. Anybody that got it wrong, right, you're out.
Hmm.
But if you get to the whatever, right, you get to buy one of 3 shoes or something like that. And maybe they don't have all the sizes, or maybe it's a full size run and you get to pick one of whatever.
That'd be fun.
Right? Yeah. And you could make that a lot more interactive. The problem is, right, you'd have to stagger them out a lot so you don't have them all in one time zone.
Right.
Right. So, like, you'd have to do maybe like 12 and do one like every hour, spread out throughout the weeks and days so you hit every time zone somewhere.
Hmm.
Yeah, it would be very cool.
Yeah. I guess we'll see how things get rolled out in was it matter of weeks, right?
The Pirate Black is scheduled for this month, but that's on the back end. So I mean, honestly, that means basically nothing. I mean, they could push that as much as they want, right? I
We
mean, so
clearly know that means
yeah.
nothing.
So until that they actually want to do something with it, I just assume that nothing's actually happening until like we see it actually load up on the front.
Yeah, because they've just announced that they were doing this, right?
Yes, they literally just announced before the weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's not a partnership. Some people are saying it's just like a obligatory 15%, right? They're just trying to get rid of the inventory to make people happy.
It's part of his contract.
Yeah.
Or previous contract, right?
Yeah, it is. And he's entitled to whatever they do with the inventory. So
Yeah.
he had a clause in there. He was smart.
Yeah, and it was nice for them to say like, all the profits were going to charity, which is
the mental health charities and stuff. It's a good move.
It is. I thought that part was, I don't want to say touching, but a good way to end this.
A good
saga.
gesture.
A good gesture.
Yeah, especially because they have to go back to Kanye, right? And they know that too.
Mm-hmm.
And they are taking a lot of heat for it, even though a lot of people don't understand. A lot of it is not Kanye's like planning by any means. It's more of like, well, they don't really want to do anything bad with it. Yeah, it's like there's many ways to take a loss, and then you can also take a loss and look bad, or you can just sell the shoes that people want anyways.
Right.
Yeah, be interesting. Hopefully by next week we'll have some more updates. But I think that's everything for this episode. So thanks if you've listened this far. If you're listening on YouTube, don't forget to like the video and subscribe. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, don't forget to rate the video and follow the channel. Thanks for listening. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.